Hello Team Komal. This is Komal Talks where I, Komal, talk. So today I want to talk about rape culture. That mostly people don't know the particular term because we don't really see it as much in media, at least in India. When society asks more questions about the actual victim, what was she wearing, why was she there, why does she have to travel at night, and not question about why did the rapist rape, that is rape culture. For me personally, rape culture and the actual distinction of rape culture started when I was really little. Being a child in the 90s was very fascinating, to say the least. The repercussions of which I still feel. I cannot watch Bollywood movies because I'm a very visual person. If I see something, it just keeps on in my mind and I see it everywhere, so it's quite difficult for me to take things out of my mind. There was a phase in Bollywood from I think the late 70s to the early 90s where people, particularly in Bollywood, started glorifying rape. All these villains that were originally glamorized just for being evil and torturing most probably the mother, or like hitting the wife or the sister of the actual hero, it transcended into this cheap sense of raping any woman that was actually related to the hero. I particularly remember Shakti Kapoor doing a lot of scenes where rape was very much in your face, glorified. Showed the full scene, they showed the girl being raped. Obviously they didn't show her body parts, but it was insinuated that she was being raped, and the fact that the villain was deriving pleasure out of it. I was little, I didn't really understand what exactly was happening, but I knew that it was wrong. Obviously you can see it, it's wrong, but that kind of sets your mind up. And I'm sure the men that actually saw those scenes realized that that is one thing that you can do to humiliate a woman. So all of these 90s movies where all they could say was iski behan ko to main uthaunga, like everybody, like if one guy wanted revenge on the other guy, they would just go pick up the sister or mother, rape them, and then it would be the same, and people would just keep on going, raping everybody. And Bollywood has a lot of influence on our society. It's kind of like art imitating life, imitating art. It's a very, very weird circle, but it exists. To say that Bollywood had no share, at least in India, to create that sort of a culture would be a serious understatement. I know that a society cannot just be like, yeah, well, Bollywood showed it, so we were doing it. It doesn't really work like that. Obviously we have our own mechanisms that work within the society. I saw all of these really headstrong women that were shown in the movies, and they're always shown in bad light. So if a woman goes around saying no to men, she was asking for being raped because she was being too proud of herself. Nobody really thought about the fact that what if she just doesn't want to be in a relationship with somebody? What if this lady is just really not interested? Always came down to ego. It was always, no, but I want her, she needs to be mine, and that's all that matters. From that time onwards, I haven't been able to enjoy Bollywood movies because I still relate that sense of fear, that sense of criminalizing just the act of being women, and that weird sensibility of men thinking that they can get away with it and they can do it, they can ask you, they can be after you, they can propose to you, and if you say no, then they have the right to go ahead and do whatever they want. Very few movies actually condemned stalking women. Very few movies like Dar showed the person that was actually stalking the girl as the villain. Most of the movies, all they taught us was no means yes. All the songs I remember of the 90s, even a funny movie like Andaz Apna Apna, the first song of Raveena Tandon and Amir Khan, Raveena Tandon is just not interested. But if you see throughout the full song, you can see her face getting really irritated. And when I was young, that's what I used to think. I was like, what if I was walking in a park and a random man was just pushing himself on me? I would have the same expressions. But here it's funny because we know that it's not real life. But what if somebody gets inspired by this and does the same thing to somebody else? Would it still be funny? The thing that I don't understand about rape culture is that we ourselves over-sexualize the body of women. We don't think of women as just women. The minute you walk on the street, you get conscious of your body. You get conscious if my chest is covered enough, if this thing that I'm wearing is too tight, if my legs are visible, if somebody can see my backside, if somebody can see my front. Women themselves are made to feel like if anything happens in the future, it is their fault, and that is what is toxic. And it's so beautifully done, with generations of guilt being kind of like pushed to you. It is so beautifully subliminal that you will not even understand why you're doing it. I do it all the time because I travel quite a lot in public transport. The body of a female does not exist to be sexualized. The body of a female exists because it exists. It's really funny. The world is okay when you push chests, a woman's chest, as a sexualized object to sell a lot of things. But the minute a woman takes her body and does what its job is, which is breastfeeding, people get uncomfortable. That is precisely the reason why the minute a rape case comes out, the first question is, what was she wearing? Where she was? Who was she with? Did she push anybody to rape her? I mean, I don't even know how it's possible to push somebody to rape you unless, like, you say rape me. That I think would be a different point altogether. Actual problem is not us wearing weird clothes. The actual problem is that people look at us in a weird manner. People even look sexually at young girls that are like 5, 6, 7, 8. So how can you justify their clothes and the violence that's inflicted on them? I never truly understood why people thought it's okay to say that you have to dress a particular way, because that just pushes the responsibility towards the actual perpetrator. It basically means the person that rapes you is normal. It means that the act of raping comes naturally, which essentially means that every single man that you meet has the potential to rape you. And I think men should be really pissed about that. Every single man is not a rapist, and every single man will not end up raping somebody. It's like saying every single man is just looking for somebody to rape. If they find you, they'll just rape you. Yeah, just be afraid. That's all you have to do. The concept of rape culture hurts both men and women, simply because women are forever afraid of going outside. They can't trust anybody. It's really bad for men because they can't have a normal conversation with a girl ever. A particular case just happened in America. A man was intoxicated and a lady was completely passed out on the floor. He thought it was okay to rape her. And after that, everybody kept on saying that how amazing his life could have been if he didn't drink alcohol. And everybody kept on pushing the fact that this was not a bad guy. He was just a guy under influence. Questions were actually asked about why was that girl passed out on the floor, rather than the question that why was that guy drunk and was raping the girl. That shows you how weird society in general is. A lot of people love to put fingers on Indians and particularly Delhi, because things happen here. But this is not exclusive to us Indians. This happens everywhere. People were literally feeling bad for a guy who raped a girl. They were feeling bad for the guy because apparently the problem wasn't the guy, it was the fact that he was drunk. So here we have society trying to explain to you how alcohol is bad, and a good guy with a good future can get messed up when he has alcohol. So right now, dehumanizing is not of the actual rapist, but of the alcohol. People are ready to defend the person that has actually caused the crime rather than the victim. When the marital rape bill was presented in the parliament, their defense was, the first thing that everybody kept on saying was how this bill cannot pass, because if it passes, it will destroy the strength of, I don't quite remember the actual words, but that's what it meant. It meant that it would destroy the sanctity of the Indian culture, the holistic Indian culture that we have, by obviously giving the right of women to say that, well, we were raped. A lot of people are for it, a lot of people are against it, which is a different point altogether. I was interested in the fact that the minute everybody talked about it, the first thing people said was not how this will benefit women that are actually raped after they get married, but how this bill can be misused. So people care more about the bill being misused than the bill actually being useful. That shows us a lot about our society.
We should be given enough knowledge about how to combat such circumstances. When something like that arises in front of me, we should be aware of how to deal with it.
When boys are told from a very young age that women can only be a sexual or a love interest, you take away women's rights of being just people. When you tease your 5-year-old, 10-year-old nephew, son, anybody about a girl that they're friends with at school, chances are they will never equate women with a neutral friendship. They will always think that they can never be friends with a girl, which at the end of the day goes into the mind thinking that women can never be normal people or have normal relationships with them. They always have to either be a love interest or have sexual tensions with. Everybody loves to just wash their hands off of what they're actually doing. The law and its strictness obviously plays a role, but as a society, you need to make sure that you're not overly sexualizing women's bodies. You need to make sure that girls are not made to feel like they are doing something wrong by wearing a tank top or a skirt. I personally think until society starts seeing women as people and not just a piece of ass, we're not gonna get anywhere. We are more than what is between our legs and how we make you feel. We exist because of the simple aspect of existing. We're not here to please you or other people. We're just here to live just like everybody else. That's it. Bye.